Merry meet and welcome to Jupiter's Readings. I'm Taylor and today we are taking a look at a heart connection spread to help us whether we are single, looking at an active connection, or just wanting to check in with maybe ourselves, and developing more self-love. It is essentially whatever you need to get more into that heart space and to help see a little bit more about what you have control over versus what you do not have control over. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to start, we do have space number 1 here. This is going to be about the current energy between. So this is just letting you know about between the two extremes that you are asking about, where the current energy is there. This is going to be more about the you now. This is going to be more about the connection now. So if that's like, if you're looking for, oh, how do I connect more with myself? How do I connect more with my partner? Or I'm just trying to find a partner. How do I find that connection? So this is going to support you in that how and where as well. This is going to be our number 4 card. This is going to be about the action that you can take. And so this is going to be your main advice card for what you can actively do. And then we go to 5. This is going to be about how your partner, if you're looking into them, how they're going to act, or furthermore about what the energy is going to be around the connection that you're looking for and essentially how they're going to respond to your action. And then of course, if you're looking at the self-love, it's going to just be kind of like what you can't control versus what you can. So a little bit of an outcome in regards to that energy. Then finally, we have our card number 6. This is a little bit about outcome, but it's really more about how do those energies come back together between these actions being taken, one that you're actively doing and one that is more happening around you or your connection is actively taking. And this is going to give you some advice essentially to see if that makes sense for the direction that you're moving in. So it's a nice little check-in for wherever you're at within your life, just trying to determine exactly what you want more. And so this one, it is meant to hopefully look a little bit like a heart, but sometimes I feel it takes a little bit more imagination in the mind's eye. So let's go ahead and get started with our collective reading though. I will go ahead and read it for a singles view as well as a self-love view as well as a relationship view. And so we'll kind of take it a little bit at a time. We'll start with a singles view, go into relationships, and then we'll do a self-love one. So these are all still going to be used for the same cards. There's just many meanings you can take. And we're using the Love Tarot today because I just felt it was right, And so we have about just what is the energy between right now. And so the Magician is going to be a lot about choice, and especially in this deck, it is a lot about recognizing the fact that you have more power within your relationship because you are able to still choose love and choose what love looks like. And for the you now relationship, we have the Hierophant. So this is letting us know that you're really focused on like traditions, and it feels like what other people have told you love looks like. So this is kind of reminding you like, no, you have a little bit more choice within this, but that is also, those traditions are coloring what you're looking at. And so for where to find these connections, what to look forward towards, we have the Chariot coming out. And so the Chariot a lot of times is going to be about the fact of conflicting energies working together in order to reach a certain goal in mind. And so for this singles aspect of the read that we're going for, this is going to be more about looking at the energies inside of yourself that maybe don't seem to go together and seeing how they can work together to help you move forward. So the main message that comes forward is like getting out of your comfort zone, right? And so that's going to look different for very many people, but essentially it's helping you discover a little bit more internal understanding and taking some more control. And that's why we still have this Magician in the center. Now, if you're in a relationship with the Chariot and this is going to be your partner or your current connection, this is instead going to be talking about the fact that there's a little bit of an internal struggle inside of the partner. So if you're feeling a little bit distant from them, there is conflicting energy in them because they are very much fighting against themselves in order to move forward. And we'll see a little bit more about what that action looks like and what they're doing within the relationship, because there is this hesitancy of being held back by the traditional values of the Hierophant. And so that may be why you're seeing some tension. And then lastly, looking at it for self-love, it really does go along a little bit with that singles message around the fact of like, how are you letting these more traditional beliefs hold you back in finding that connection inside of you and accepting more for how you view and interact with the world? So essentially opening yourself up to a more understanding that you do not have to be perfect is a key message coming through, but also that you can kind of have that tension and it be a good motivator moving forward. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're always fighting against yourself. It could mean that you are working through a friction in order to find success. And then over here for your action, we have the Lovers. So super interesting in this in this spread, because the Lovers in this tarot in general is actually more associated with choice. The Magician in this one is directly associated with choice. The Lovers, though, is a lot about like choosing your partner and being active in that relationship and in that investment. And so your action here from the Hierophant is recognizing, reviewing kind of the things that you're moving forward in regards to the Lovers and why that structure is so important to you. And for first singles, and we see the Tower coming forward, so you're getting out of your comfort zone and it is creating external changes in your life. This card is probably the definition of you do not have control over this. This is happening outside of you, and it's more about like being along for the ride and not being overtaken by the Tower. And so within a relationship, this is a lot about the fact that your partner is craving change and they're going to create it whether or not you like it. And so looking at how you're acting with the Lovers and being like, okay, this is what I am comfortable with, this is where I am at, you're more able to be flexible with the changes that they're requesting and kind of seeing if there's a little bit more of a middle road. And then self-love, it just comes to the fact again that as you shed certain beliefs that are no longer serving you, you are supporting external changes in happening because you're changing your internal energy to be more supportive for new opportunities to come towards you. Okay. And so finally we have Strength. So this card is very much about perseverance, as well as seeing how you're able to work more with your emotions in order to empower yourself within the relationship, really within any situation. So when we're talking about singles, what it means for these two energies to when we're talking for our singles and seeing these two energies coming together into strength, it really is letting us know that through the choices that we make, we're able to better accept the outcomes and the consequences that are happening that we do not have control over, because we know that we are able to continue persevering through the energy that is available through us and through the foundations that we have built. And then if you are looking at this from a relationship standpoint and there's not really a lot of control on this side, and it may feel like your partner is acting without you being as involved, this is letting us know that you are still having some choices within this, and you are choosing to be a part of that journey with your partner in order for you to be able to kind of liberate those emotions, especially if there's any anger within it, so that the tension can be released and you guys are able to come back together. A lot of times with the Tower, it is shown with a storm, but normally what happens after a storm is the rainbow. It's a clear sky. And so that is essentially what you guys are working towards. So even if it seems like they're distant, it just means that they are working towards wanting more change, not only from within themselves, but to be reflected around them as well. And your energy is more about finding the stability that makes sense for you within that moment. And then for self-love in general, we are going to be seeing how you are being encouraged to really let yourself be a little bit more out of your comfort zone, to let your environment change around you, because you have a lot more choices around what that love looks like to you. Like, no one else gets to decide that. And so again, it just really comes into this beautiful message that you are standing strong in your decisions, and that you are not being as affected by this tower moment. It is more outside of you, and you are more of the foundation. Because even with the tower, in every image I've really seen of it, it's only the top that falls down. The bottom is always very structured and stays there. The last thing I'll say on the relationship part, so I apologize, we're going back a little bit, is that you are kind of that stability for your partner right now while they're going through these changes in their life. And so a lot of times when we look at a relationship, we really want to take it personal that they are going through changes, but instead it's sometimes just their part of their growth, part of their life pattern, and they just need someone who is willing to be stability for them and be that partner for them. And so it's just seeing how your strength is not only supporting yourself, but the person that you love and care for. Okay, we'll go ahead and leave it there. I know this one was a little bit lengthier. If you need any clarifications or if it was a little bit confusing, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, definitely like and subscribe for more weekly spreads. Feel free to reach out if you are interested in our emotional exploration, or if you need any personalized soul coaching or healing. And I will see you guys next week. Blessed be.